So today we're going to continue looking at equivalent fractions. What is an equivalent fraction? Julia? An equivalent fraction, there are two fractions that have the same value, that are equal. Alright, we're going to look at page 231, because today we're not going to talk about just determining whether a fraction is equivalent. We're going to talk about generating or making fractions that are equivalent. So, we're going to look at this. Alright, I want you to look at this model. I want you to shade 1/4 of this model. All right, now, this model is divided into 8 pieces, so this is an eighths. I want you to color in the same amount of this square as you colored in here. Are you just going to color in one piece?
No, you color 2.
Okay, so that's 2 pieces. All right. So how many eighth size pieces makes a 1/4 size piece? 2. I need 2 eighth size pieces to make a 1/4 size piece. All right. Well, now, let me do this. All right. What? You don't need your colored pencils right now, because that's just going to slow you down. This you can just do with your regular pencil. All right. So now I want to figure out how many eighths will make 3/4. So color in 3 parts of the fourth to show 3/4. All right, now how many parts of the eighths, how many eighths am I going to color in to measure the same amount as 3/4?
6.
I'm going to color in 6. Because for every 1/4, how many 1/8 do I need? 2 1/8 equals 1 1/4, right? So I need how many eighth size parts to make 3/4 size parts? 6. So how many eighths equals 3/4? 6 eighths. All right, so let's look here. All right, here it asks me to write 4 fractions that are equivalent to 1/2. Now, I can do that several ways. And in essence, they kind of did with this circle what we did with our piece of paper. Do you remember folding the paper? And coloring in one side, and then we folded it again, and it was divided into 4ths, and 2 of those pieces were colored, so 2/4 was the same as 1/2. Okay? They did the same thing with the circle. You did do that. You did do that. You just may not remember it, but you did do it. All right. So, here I have 1/2, And look at the second model. The second model is divided into fourths. How many fourths equal 1/2? 2. Now, I want you to notice that to go from 1/2 to 2/4, I multiplied the 1 by 2, and I multiplied the 2 by 2. Do you see that? Yes, I see that. No, I don't. Okay, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. All right, let's look at the next fraction. All right, I go from 1/2 to what? How many sixths are colored in? 3/6. Now, let's compare 1/2 to 3/6. I multiplied 2 times 3 and I got 6. What do I multiply by 1 to get to 3? All right. Let's do another one. All right. So this is 1/2. This time my circle is divided into, this is eighths. So what's my number on the bottom? 8. Because my circle is divided into 8 pieces. And how many of those 8 pieces are colored? 4. And you notice that's the same amount of the whole as 1/2. So 1/2 also equals 4/8. Well, let's do this. My 4/8 goes here because that's where I'm ending up. All right. 1 times what number equals 4? 4, right? 2 times what number equals 8? 2 times what equals 8? 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, so notice I am multiplying the numerator and the denominator, the top and the bottom, by the same number. All right. Here's my 1/2 again. This time my circle is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parts. What is my fraction for this circle? 5/10. All right. Let's see how those fractions are related. I know that they're equivalent, right? I know that 1/2 is equal to 5/10. All right, I can see that on the model. So let's see how I got from 1/2 to 5/10. 1 times what number equals 5? 1 times 5 equals 5. 2 times what number equals 5? 2 times 5, or 2 times what number equals 10? So 2 times 5 equals 10. So notice I multiplied my numerator and my denominator, the top number and the bottom number, by 5. The same number. All right, so if I need 4 fractions that... If I need 4 fractions that are equivalent to 1/2, I have 1/2, I have 2/4, I have 3/6, 4/8, and 5/10. All right. Now, if I wanted to tell you that you can use multiplication to write equivalent fractions, based on this, how would you tell me to do that? How could I use multiplication to write an equivalent fraction? Okay, so let's look at 3. Okay, and they give me 3/5, and I want to write an equivalent fraction for 3/5. If I did not, why don't you throw that away? If I don't want to draw a model, how can I use multiplication to write an equivalent fraction? And I want you to look at what happens here. What did I do to the numerator and the denominator to get from 1/2 to 2/4? I multiplied both by 2. What did I do to get from 1/2 to 3/6 here? I multiplied both by 3. What did I do to get from 1/2 to 4/8? I multiplied both numerator and the denominator by 4. It's important that we remember we multiply both. All right, to get from 1/2 to 5/10, what did I do? I multiplied both by 5. So if I want to use multiplication to find an equivalent fraction for 3/5, what can I do? Okay. I can choose a number. It doesn't matter what number that I choose, but what do I have to make sure I do? I have to make sure that I multiply what? All right, let's choose our number. What are we going to multiply by to find an equivalent fraction? We're not going to do 1 because that will give me 3/5. Okay, I'm going to multiply by 2. But what do I have to make sure that I do to make sure the fraction is equivalent? I have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 2. Now, incidentally, what fraction does 2 over 2 represent? That represents what? It represents 1 whole. Anytime the numerator and the denominator are the same, that's 1 whole, right? That's why I can do this. That's why I multiply this and it comes out to be an equivalent fraction, because I am just multiplying by 1. Because I'm multiplying by a fraction that is equal to 1. Okay, that's why it works. So if I have 3/5 and I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2, what equivalent fraction do I come up with? 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 2 is 10. So 6/10 is equal to 3/5. Is that true? How can I check it with multiplication? Right. But I can check, remember our shortcut for checking whether fractions are equivalent? Is I can cross multiply. So 5 times 6 is 30, and 3 times 10 is 30, and these two numbers are the same, so my fractions are equivalent. Remember that trick? All right. Can you find another fraction that's equivalent to 3/5? So what can I do to find another fraction that's equivalent to 3/5, Jeremiah? What can I do to find another fraction that's equivalent to 3/5? I want another fraction that is equivalent to 3/5. So how will I make an equivalent fraction? What do I have to do to make an equivalent fraction? What did we do here? What did I do to get from 3/5 to 6/10? Okay, so I multiplied the numerator and the denominator by 2. To make equivalent fractions, I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. To make equivalent fractions, I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So Jeremiah, what can I do to create another equivalent fraction for 3/5? I need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. What do I need to do? Everybody tell me. What do I need to do to make a fraction equivalent to 3/5? I've got to do what? I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So Jeremiah, choose a number. We've already done 2. Choose another number. 5. All right, so I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. And I get 15 25ths. 15 25ths is equivalent to 3/5. Because anytime I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the fill in the blank, by the same number, I get an equivalent fraction. How do I make an equivalent fraction? The numerator and the denominator by the same number. What if I just multiply 1? Then it's not an equivalent fraction. I've got to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. All right. Are 2/3 and 6/8 equal? Tell me why. There are several ways that you can tell me why. Okay, let's use the rule we're talking about today. So I would need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number to make it equivalent. So 2 times 3 equals 6. So what is 3 times 3?
9.
Equals 9. So 6/9 is equivalent, but 6/8 is not. Where are you? I know, but I don't understand. Do I multiply the numerator times the denominator? Is that what you're asking? No, I do not multiply the numerator times the denominator. I never multiply the numerator times the denominator. All right, let's look at page 233. All right, I have 2/3 and I have 4/6. So let's see how they're related. I'm going to put 4 6 here because that's the answer that I'm going to get. They're equivalent fractions. So 2 times what is 4? 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times what is 6? Okay, so I multiplied the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Alright, I have 3/5 and I have 6/10. So let's see how I generated that. 3 times what is 6? 5 times what is 10? Alright, so I multiplied the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Alright, I have 1/3 and I have 4/12. Let's see how I did that. 1 times what is 4? 3 times what is 12? So in order to generate an equivalent fraction, I multiplied the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Alright, now it's asking me to write 2 equivalent fractions. Alright, in order to generate equivalent fractions, I have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So let me choose my number. The first one, what number am I going to choose? Helena? 3, okay. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. So what is my equivalent fraction? 12/15. All right. What's another number? Charlie? I need to generate another equivalent fraction. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So I need a number. Charlie? I'm sorry. What number? It's not a trick. It doesn't matter what number I choose. If I multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, my fraction will be equivalent. So you just choose easy numbers to work with. What do you choose? 12/12. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do 12/12. So 4 times 12 is 48. 5 times 12 is 60. So what is my equivalent fraction? 48/60. Okay, let's do the same thing for 2/4. So in order to generate an equivalent fraction, I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So I'm going to choose a number, and I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by that number. Cody, choose a number. All right, we'll start with 4. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. So my first equivalent fraction is 8/16. All right, Angel, choose another number. 8. All right, 2 times 8 is 16. 4 times 8 is 32. So my next equivalent fraction is 16/32. Yep. It's not 32ths. You can say that if you want, but it's not the way. It's 30 seconds. But I'm not gonna spend time arguing over that. All right. I want to generate equivalent fractions for 3 6. How will I do that? Guys, I've got a lot of people that are not wearing their masks properly. I don't get my second shot till tomorrow, and you guys won't get a shot until probably next year. Or next school year. Yeah, vaccine. So that's your parents' decision. What I'm saying is, we don't quit protecting each other. We continue to wear our masks. I got the first one. All right. 3 6. How will I generate equivalent fractions? Ray, how am I going to generate an equivalent fraction for 3 6? What's my process? Tell me what? Okay, what am I going to do once I choose that number? I can't hear you. I need you to speak louder. I'm going to multiply what? Multiply what? I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Okay, so I'm going to do this on my piece of paper so I can write nice and big. So I have 3 6, and I'm going to choose a number. Taraji, what number am I going to choose? Guys, there's no right or wrong number. I just have to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. All right, 3 times 6 is 18. 6 times 6 is 36. So my first equivalent fraction is 18/36. All right, now I'm going to do another equivalent fraction. Zytavia, what am I going to do to make an equivalent fraction? Okay, so I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator. Sit up. I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So I need to choose a number. So Zytavion, choose a number. 5. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 6 times 5 is... So my second equivalent fraction is 15/30. We're going to go in just a minute. All right? 3/10.